Good day, folks. Everything new under the sun. Today we're talking about the mark of the beast and the things that are coming upon the world as they get worse and worse. I think there's some incredible things going on. And like I say, they will only get worse. Now, I want to take a look at an article about microchips and microchips as it relates to your passport. And you know which kind of passport I'm talking about. This is from Zero Hedge. A microchip containing your vaccine passport information can now be embedded in your hand. So I spoke with this on, I think it was a live stream. And this is incredible news. Not because the technology has been there for a long time, but because we're seeing it implemented now in such a way, along with all the other measures happening around the world, in such a way that just adds up and it kind of is the definition of what we see in scriptures as it relates to the Antichrist leader and the mark of the beast, where you can't buy or sell unless you have the mark in your right hand or your forehead. Now the vaccine is not that. It's not the mark. But I think we're quickly heading there. It says things are starting to get really weird. What I'm about to share sounds strange. It goes on, but in Sweden, this is what they're doing. They're putting microchips that contain the passport information on their hands. There's a video. John Holler actually showed a video of it going in, I think it was the right hand of this particular person. Well, maybe it was the left hand, now that I think about it. But anyways, they were putting a microchip in the hand, which you can take your phone and you can scan your hand and see your passport. Now, isn't that handy? Isn't that convenient, right? Remember, all these things spoken of in the Bible, a lot of them are driven or are moved into effect by way of every good reason, such as a worldwide currency, digital currency. It's there. It'll stop fraud. It will be something that's good for society. It will help us all. It will help us get out of economic collapse. It will allow distribution of money and paychecks to people quicker and more safely and conveniently. But on the flip side, you're also being tracked for everything you buy and sell. And so there's good and bad reasons, but everything comes in for a good reason. Of course, this passport is coming in for a good reason, for the health and safety of everybody, right? But governments will ultimately use it, and the Antichrist, in fact, will ultimately use it for a control of the whole population, and an ultimatum to the point where if you don't go along with this, if you don't accept what the world government is putting out there, then you may lose your life. Certainly, you're going to lose your life in terms of house and being able to buy food and meeting with people. You know, you probably be quarantined and locked down. But also to the point of your actual physical mortal life may be taken if you don't accept this. Ultimately, when the Antichrist figure comes into play, and so this is coming into focus right before our eyes. And again, I'm sure my YouTube channel is going to be shut down for this. Anyways, there's a video there. You can watch a video of it being done. So you can go to this website if you want, Zero Hedge, and look for microchip passport. You should be able to find it. That's happening in Sweden. And so they're already putting something in your hands, microchips. And shortly, they're going to be putting it in your forehead as well. Maybe if you don't have a hand, or for some reason, or you're an amputee, well, they have a solution. They'll put it in your forehead. But they want to know where it is. They don't just want it anywhere on your body. They want a world standard. That's what they're going to. The second thing is, as it relates to the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse writing, what I've consistently said for a long time now, that violence will increase in the last days. So we have this, the pandemic going on. We have economic collapse. We have job losses, the arrows left to right. We have famine, starvation, and then violence. Love of many is going to grow cold. And I've often said that, you know what, all your preps and everything, they're probably not going to make a difference, because you're going to have roving gangs of people, 2, 5, 10 or more, maybe just regular people, maybe just husbands, fathers who are looking to feed their children, or violent criminal gangs looking to get what you have, filtering out of the cities, looking for food and resources. And do we see that anywhere in the world today? Well, you think, well, maybe in Nicaragua or Mexico or something, maybe you see some similar thing to that. But you know what? It's coming to a city near you, and it's actually happening in California. So here I have this economic collapse, social collapse, civil unrest, the Antichrist peace deal. This is coming very quickly now. I've got to do these videos, quicker as these things just increase in frequency and intensity, and all the things start coming into focus. Not only that, but they're happening before our eyes. And so I take you to this article. This is Zero Hedge again. Never seen anything like this. Los Angeles residents stunned as violent crimes creep into wealthier communities. So what are criminals doing? Well, anybody who looks like they have money, they're following them home from work or from stores. If you go to a high-end store and you have a nice Gucci purse or something like that, and you're driving a Mercedes-Benz vehicle or something else, they're following you home. They're not going to mug you there. They're going to follow you home quietly and break into your house and steal everything you have. So violent crimes. Residents of upscale neighborhoods are finally starting to freak out after a spat of flash mob lootings at high-end retail stores. So the flash mob lootings were where 10 or 20 people went and looted stores. Let's see if we can pull this up real quick here. In parts of America, looting has become a way of life, and cops are hardly even going after these people now. On average, these are stealing more than $100 million worth of merchandise from retailers every day. And not only that, much of the thievery is being committed by organized gangs. Now, sounds like something here out of Mexico, or like I say, Colombia, some other third world country. But that's happening here, and the police aren't able to do anything about it. So gangs of looters are going around to stores, and now, and just regular stores. There's actually videos here of this. I don't know if I can. So this is apparently some guy filling up his car, and there's a reporter, I guess, recording this. He's just stealing stuff, and no one's doing anything about it because they can't. The police are basically told not to do anything about it. These professional looters seem to have no fear of being confronted. They're just stealing because, you know what? In some of these cities, I forget where it is, Seattle or wherever, the police have been told, don't prosecute, don't bother arresting anybody for theft under $1,000 or whatever the number is. They're basically giving free rein to criminals to go commit crimes because they say, well, it's a waste of the police time to do that. And I've said it before. This will come to a location near you where not only are they robbing stores, but now they are literally following you home and looting your house. This is why I need to be careful. Maybe drive an old beater car. Don't look like you have a lot of money. In the last days, when Mad Max scenario comes, this is going to be where you don't want to show all your cards on a table. You don't want a big solar array there, nice and shiny, for everybody to see on the side of the road, because that's going to be a key indicator that maybe you have some resources. You don't want a generator running in your backyard, loud generator, because criminals who are coming out of the city to look for resources, food, electricity, when this all goes down, they're going to say, oh, I hear a generator. That guy must have some resource. He must have a fridge or a freezer he's trying to keep going, which is maybe full of food, right? So this is a good reason maybe to get a battery system so that you can run silently and keep your things going silently, like a jackery as an example. Crews of burglars publicly smashing their way into Los Angeles' most exclusive stores. Robbers following victims home, including star of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And this week, apparently someone was even shot, a philanthropist and music legend in their Beverly Hills homes, where you think it would be most secure and there would be the most cameras and most police. These criminals are going there, and apparently the police aren't getting them, to the point where these rich folk have private security. That's who you see in the image, the truck there, private security forces. Incredible. The Times noted that while overall crime rates in Los Angeles remain far below the notoriously violent 1990s, much of it has been concentrated in poor communities, so it receives virtually no attention because no one cares about what goes on in poor communities, right? Certainly not mainstream media stuff. But now crime has crept up in wealthier enclaves and thrust its way to the center of public discourse across the city. Incredible. This is all happening in California. This is happening in Portland and various other locations. And when they run out of things to do in the cities, look for gangs of people, especially when the economy crashes, when things get hard, when real civil war occurs. This is what's going to be coming past your front door. And if there's any indication that you have any resources at all, even if there's possibly a light on when it all goes down, when stuff hits the fan, as they say, when it all goes down, if there's even a light on in your house, criminals may think that you have resources, electricity, whatever, and so they're looking to take whatever they can and try and sell it or barter it or trade it. And so all the preps in the world, I don't think, are going to save you from this. And certainly, when the wrath of God comes, people are going to be throwing their gold and silver into the streets. At the end of the day, they're going to throw their money in the streets. It's worthless. It's not good for anything. They can't pay a private security team to keep them safe anymore. They can't buy food anymore. They can't buy safety at the time of God's wrath. And likewise, prior to that, there's going to be a period of time where there's nothing you can really do about what's happening. There's going to be gangs, roving around. You got to do what you can to keep yourself safe and limit your visibility. Don't look like you have a lot, and maybe move to a smaller house. Move away from big cities and population centers, because the farther you are away, the longer it's going to take for these gangs and these burglars to get out to you. Because most of the people in the country are in the country not because they have money necessarily, but because, well, they don't need to be in the city, but they're probably in the country. They probably have a job if they're in the country, otherwise they'd starve, whereas you may find some more poor, desperate people in the city centers where there is a great concentration of people, maybe less food when things go bad, maybe a lot more panic when things go bad. Maybe they don't have a garden, so there's other reasons, not the least of which is that gangs are usually in cities. That's usually where they start from. You don't normally see gangs in the middle of the forest or on back roads. There's just not a concentration of people of the same mind in such a small place that want to do that. You do have vigilante groups, I guess, in some cases, but not that same kind of crime. A lot of that crime comes out of these big population centers for all sorts of socioeconomic reasons, etc. So that's one reason to get farther away from cities and to be able to bug out. But as I said last time, you may not be able to bug out because maybe the government isn't allowing you to get gas, such as is the case in Vancouver, where they're under emergency orders and their gas is being rationed. So all your preps may be of no use. That doesn't mean don't get prepared. Hedge your bets on several different sides. Get prepared. But know that a lot of your preparations may be absolutely useless. Just know that, but hopefully you will have made one prep that makes sense. Maybe a couple cans of beans in the back of your car, and a tank of gas, and you can take off. But there's going to be a lot of preps that a lot of people do, and they're going to be either completely useless, or gangs of people are going to come, desperate people are going to come and just take what you have anyways. So something to think about in these sobering times. It's going to be probably beyond Mad Max. If you've watched the movies, it will probably be, in some cases, maybe worse than what is depicted there, to the point where everybody is desperate, not just criminals, but everybody is desperate, and everybody becomes a criminal. The love of many grows cold, right? Which is, let me go there. violence, love grows cold. And because everybody's trying to feed their family, feed their kids, everybody is desperate. Everybody is in the streets looking for resources, and everybody in the large centers are filtering out to the back country, whatever, the side roads, the farmland, looking for resources. And you're gonna have to be prepared to share it, and there may come to the point of violence where if you don't share it, maybe they're going to take it anyways. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for things in the last days. But folks, know that the Bible speaks of these times before, so that we are not only to get ready for them, to know they're coming, most of all to get our heart right, so that our minds and our hearts are ready and prepared for these coming events. And these things are starting, I believe, soon. I believe over this last year it has really only confirmed my timeline. Now, I think my arrows may all have to shift a little bit, but we are very, very close, I think, to the start of this 7-year period. And it's looking, every day, it's looking more and more likely that this is going to occur. Thanks for watching. I'll leave it there. We'll see you guys in the next video.